I'm going to be explaining how to do this problem both by substitution and elimination. So first I'm going to solve it through substitution. So if you look here, the first step in substitution is you want to find a variable that is by itself. Could be x or y. So in this case, y is by itself, meaning it doesn't have a coefficient in front of it. So we can work with this equation first. So what we're going to do is we want to get y by itself, y on one side and everything else on the other side. So in order to do that, you're just going to add 7x to both sides. And that's going to turn this into, so then once you have that, you can substitute this y in terms of x into this equation. So you never want to substitute this back into this equation. You want to substitute the variable back into the second equation. So we have y in terms of, so basically this is saying that y is the same thing as 7x plus 19. So we want to get it so that all the variables are the same. So you're going to do 2 minus 2x plus 3, and then you're getting to y. We're going to substitute in 7x plus 19, and then you're going to distribute, equals negative 19, and then you want to distribute this, so that's going to be 21, and that's going to be minus 2x at the front, plus 21x equals negative 19, and then now that you have the same variables, you can combine these together to get 19x. So then what you're going to do is just a typical subtract from 57 from both sides. So negative 19 minus 57 is negative 76. So you're going to get 19x. You're going to get 19x equals negative 76. And then just divide that by 19. And x is going to be equal to negative 4. So now you have your x, and you want to find the y. So in order to find the y, all you need to do is plug this x back into either one of the equations, original equations, either this original equation or this original equation. We're going to plug in x equals negative 4. This is going to give you your y coordinate. And then once you have your y coordinate, your answer will be negative 4, comma, whatever the y coordinate was. So the general rules here, I just wrote them out, is you want to look for an isolated variable. You want to find x or y by itself. In this case, we had a y already by itself. But if you don't have it, you'll probably have to do some dividing. In here, it's a very even division. You only divide by 2 with everything. You're going to get x plus 2y equals 6. Now that you have the x by itself, you can isolate the x, move everything to one side. And then now that you have the x, you'll put this back into the other equation. This will help you to solve for y. And then once you have the y, you plug the y back into any of the equations, the first equation or the second, to then get the x. Make sure you're plugging it back to the original equations that you're getting, so something like this. Okay, so in this case we're going to be doing elimination. So just ignoring this work here, these are the two original equations right here. So as you can see in this case, we've lined up all the variables so that the x's are on top of each other and the y's are on top of each other and the constants are on top of each other. And basically, we are going to be adding or subtracting these together to get y or x to be equal to 0 here. But as you can see, we don't currently have anything that could equal 0 right now. So what we can do is, if we multiply the entire top by negative 3, we can create a 3y here, a negative 3y, that we can then add to 3y to produce 0. So that's basically what I did over here. So then you now have, if you multiply the whole thing, this entire thing by negative 3, you will then have 21x minus 3y equals negative 57 over the original plus, sorry, it should be minus 2x plus 3y equals negative 19. So then you're going to add these two together because minus 3y plus 3y is going to give you 0. So then you're just going to do the math here. So 21 minus 2 is 19. X plus 0, these cancel out, equals negative 76. And now this just becomes a regular algebra problem. 19x equals negative 76. And we saw from the last problem that if 19x equals negative 76, x is equal to negative 4. Now that you know x, you can plug x back into either equation and then get your y value. And that is how you solve it by elimination. So as you can see, the general rules for elimination are you want to line up all the x's and y's in the same positions on top of each other. This way you can add or subtract accordingly to get 0 on one of them, on x or y. So in this case, we're subtracting because we have a 3x and a 3x, so we want to subtract that, 3x from 3x, we're going to get 0. Negative 4y minus 5y is going to be negative 9y, and then 10 minus 12 is going to be negative 2. So now we have a very simple algebra equation, negative 9y equals negative 2. So now we know that y is equal to negative 2 over 9. We can plug this back in here to get your x value and therefore solve the elimination.